Hey, good morning, everybody. How we doing today? Mike, what's the weather like there in Olive Branch today? Oh yeah? Well, as you can see, the weather here is fantastic. Connie and I took our first cruise on our 25th wedding anniversary. We're coming up in May on number 41. Ever since then, we've taken at least one cruise every year, and so this is our cruise for the year. So anyway, next year, if you want to go cruising with us, just be sure and let Connie know. We'll give you all the details in plenty of time. But welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. And I want to tell you a little story first. Now, there was this couple one time, a fictional couple, not a real couple, but there was this couple named Bubba, because he was from Mississippi, and his girlfriend at the time was Betty Jo. Now, when Bubba and Betty Jo were getting real serious about one another, they would, Bubba would go by and pick up Betty Jo in his pickup truck, because, if you live in Mississippi, you got to have at least one pickup truck in your family. So anyway, he'd pick up Betty Jo in the pickup truck, and they were really so much in love, and they'd be driving down the street, and if you were behind Bubba and Betty Jo, it looked like a two-headed monster from behind because they were sitting so close together. Well, Bubba and Betty Jo, they got married, and after a few years, people began to notice if they were driving behind Bubba and Betty Jo that, here's Bubba over here, and then Betty Jo's no longer here, but now she's moved over maybe toward the middle of the pickup, the front seat of the pickup. So anyway, a few more years roll by, and here's Bubba over here, and here's Betty Jo. She used to be here, then she was here. Now she's way over on the other side, almost to the window in the front seat of Bubba's pickup truck. And so, one day Betty Jo, she got up her courage, she'd been thinking about it, and she said, Bubba, I don't feel as close to you as I once did. I just feel like we're drifting apart. Maybe even we're falling out of love. And so, you know what Bubba says? Bubba says, well, I'm still here in exactly the same place I was years ago. There's a saying that if you, or if you're not as close to God as you once were, the question is, who moved? Well, in Bubba and Betty Jo's case, who moved? Bubba's here. He's steering. Betty Jo has what? Moved away. We all have a tendency to drift, and that's why today we're going to talk about, in the final message, part 5 of our series, Making Fresh Start, Choosing a Better Tomorrow Today, we're going to talk about making a fresh start in our devotional life. Now, previously in this series, we looked at making a fresh start in my health, making a fresh start in my finances, making a fresh start in my relationships, making a fresh start in my priorities. John Maxwell said this, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. And so I'm going to share with you today 7 things. Well, I'm only going to share 2 of them. Mike Hutchins, Super Bible Man, is going to share with you number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm only going to share point 1 and point 7. But we're going to talk today, tag team, and we're going to talk about some things that will kickstart your relationship to God, help you to make a fresh relationship, fresh start in your relationship with God. Life is about choices. If you want a better life, make better choices. So here's number 1. I will listen to God by reading the Bible every day. Job chapter 23 and verse 12, the second part says, I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. Now that's a big commitment. No Bible, no breakfast. I want you to imagine for a moment a car that's off the road and mechanically everything is sound, but it won't go anywhere. It started sputtering and it quit. What do you think the problem is? They ran out of fuel. And the Bible is like the fuel for our spiritual life. If we're having trouble in our life, if our faith is low, it's because our word input is low. If we're sputtering around in life, it's because we need to put some more fuel in our heart and soul. Little poem says, these has God married and no man shall part, dust on the Bible and drought in the heart. Peter put it this way. He said, as newborn babes, We ought to desire the pure milk of the Word, that you might grow thereby. That's 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. Another person, James Jennings, said this: if a man's Bible is coming apart, it's a good indication that he himself is fairly well put together. The message of the Bible is living. Its truth is transforming. Its stories are captivating. Its prophecies are amazing. Its power is undeniable. Its relevance is universal. Rick Warren, author of The Purpose-Driven Life, pastor of Saddleback Church in California, said God's Word generates life, creates faith, produces change, frightens the devil, causes miracles, heals hurts, builds character, transforms circumstances, imparts joy, overcomes adversity, defeats temptation, infuses hope, releases power, cleanses our minds, brings things into being, and guarantees our future forever. So the first thing we ought to do to make a fresh start in our walk with God, make a fresh start in my devotional life, is I will listen to God every day by reading the Bible. Now, Mike's going to share with us beginning point 2. Point 2 is going to be I will talk to God every day in prayer. So, Mike, take it away.